Welcome to DMOT Garage. We are working on the 52 barn door that's not the ambulance. That's the pancake. No, this is a single cab barn door ute, and well, we call them utes in Australia. But yeah, there's not much left. Now, check out the previous episode so you can catch up if you're new to the channel. But yeah, we're going to do a ground up restoration on this thing. And there's not much left. Have a look. You'll see in the last episode we stripped off pretty much all the cab, and yeah, we've still got the floor to take off. That's actually just sitting there now. The front half of the chassis is completely separated. I've got the boys from Frankston Steel bringing some steel down today so we can build a chassis table, and then we're going to get this thing onto the chassis table. This top tray is coming off. You can see the remnants of the back there. That's been taken off. Most of that's shagged. And yeah, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, that's for sure. Stay around if you want to check this stuff out and me putting this thing back together. Right, we've got to continue on taking the foot pedals and handbrake lever off and try to get the rest of this floor apart. And then I can actually just grab this right here while we're talking. Oh, look at that. Oh, we've probably got some cables stopping that, but that is separated, so yeah, there you go. All right, let's try and get the back frame off. Put some gloves on, because we're dealing with sharp metal. Righto. We're going to have to start taking off all the top hats, which is going to be a whole lot of grinding. Might as well start cutting away, eh? Got the front to take off and we are done with those frames. So fast forward, I've taken all the pedal assembly off and the handbrake lever. Of course, that gives you a whole lot of grief trying to get this pin out here. But a little bit of heat, WD-40 and the air chisel, and out she came. Everything else has come off here. We've just got to get the master cylinder off as well. Probably start picking the floor. Now I did take obviously a lot more of the back off. I was going to try to leave that section, but unfortunately I have to pull it completely apart because, and I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but nothing's lined up properly here. If you look at the shift rod, and if we try and line up the holes through the shift rod, you can see that they don't line up. So yeah, all these have to come off. We'll have to just do that. And of course the back top hats don't have holes through them for the rod to go through, or the front one for that matter. So yeah, we're going to pretty much take this entire thing apart, which, you know, I can sandblast all these rails and clean up all this mess. Now, I'll put the rod back, or the little dolly on the back here so we can wheel this thing around. I've just got to make a front one because I need to get this out of here so I can actually build the jig frame or the chassis table. So let's continue in getting this thing apart. So we're just on to repairing this rear chassis frame rail. Now the part that was on there wasn't quite the right dimension, so we're just fandangling it a little bit. We had to do a couple of little relief cuts because it was just the wrong dimension on this side of it here. So we've got that a little bit better now. So we're going to get that welded in. There's a few holes in there that we're going to have to weld up as well. And this end here needs to be a little bit smaller to match this side here. So if you have a look at this side, it's probably better to do it over here. So you can see here the profile of this isn't right. So we're going to have to, it actually has a taper to it if you look at the rail. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to relief cut it down the middle, take a wedge out and then re-weld it and make sure that we get the same on this side here. So we're going to do that, and I think we'll probably pie cut this whole sucker in half and then just weld it back together. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. So yeah, let's do some chopping. Okay guys, didn't want to bore you with just the fab work, but we've got this section. I've just tacked it in position, but I actually filler cutted it down the side just to get this profile to match the other side. Obviously we've still got a lot of repairs to do in this little corner just here, but I just wanted to get it on there so that we can get that little section made up and get that tacked in. All the framework's going to be done on the jig, so I'm not too fussed about this being floppy, so I just wanted to get it done and get it out the way. The next thing we want to do is we've still got to remove that side piece, and there's a couple of little tacks there we've got to remove, and then we need to start working on the front section. Now these floors have to come off, and this is a rolled lip here. It's going to be a bit difficult to take off. We've got to try and just break off the spot welds and then lift that off, and then of course we're going to have to take the middle treasure chest area out because we've got to replace that floor. So yeah, let's see if we can unpick this sucker. That's the piece we've got to replace, and I don't think it's going to be too hard. I think that's probably going to be reasonably easy to get, hopefully. We've got some rot, that's for sure. Alright, we might as well just cut this out. Yeah, just buzz it straight out, I suppose. Well, it's getting to the point where there's not much left. Wow. And even this needs work. You can see here, these chassis rails here are rooted. Look at that. Oh man, we've got some serious work in here. Both sides are gone. On the inside, outside. Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, okay. We're going to have to completely just remake all this. Look at that big hole there. That's a monster. But I think that part there's savable. This piece here, I can probably sandblast that. We'll chop all these pipes out. We'll get new pipes. She's getting down to the bare bones, that's for sure. All right, let's continue. Okay guys, it's the next day and you can see I've got my jig, or partial parts of it. We've still got to add a couple more ribs in the middle to pick up a couple of points along the chassis, but that's the general thing. She's pretty thick walled. It's not going to flex. We're going to have about 8 wheels on it so I can wheel it around. So yeah, took about a good hour to get this thing level and square, because obviously my concrete slab is not 100% perfect. It's probably about, I reckon, 10 mil fall on it. You can see, if you look down there in that middle one, you can see how much falls in it. So I've had to pack it all the way around, square it up, do your triangular measurements and all that jazz, and she's bang on right now. So she's 4 meters by 1200 wide, so it should be perfect to set this thing up. So we're going to just weld all these corners now, and that'll, you know, we'll have a nice square frame. Then I can basically start attaching the posts that are going to go on the chassis, and then we can start attaching the wheels. Now I did buy, actually my sister got me some bargains, these ones here, and they're rated for 160 kilos each. She got 4 of them for 12 bucks at the op shop. How bloody awesome's that? And these are normally about $45 each, so pretty stoked about that. And then of course I had another set of these blue ones, which are solid as well. So yeah, we're going to basically put, I just don't want any flex in the chassis at all, so it's got to be pretty stout. So yeah, let's get this sucker welded up. Righto guys, so we've got it all welded up. I've put the wheels on it too, so she actually rolls quite easily too, which is nice. Now obviously the concrete isn't level, so the fact that the table's on the concrete means the table's not level. So when we're going to be doing work, we're going to have to obviously level it up first before we do any welding or anything like that. So what I'll probably do is just put it onto jack stands when I'm doing any kind of work, and then it can go on the wheels if I need to wheel it in and out. So yeah, at least it's done. I've just got 6 wheels on it. That's probably enough. I've got to put a couple more bracing points in the middle. We've got to pick up this point here, that section there. So I've got to put a rod at the back for that, and then also a one at the front to pick up the points here, these points here on the beam. So I do have some measurements too, thanks to Stan in Canada, and we'll start working out where our mounting points are going to go on this thing next. All right, let's keep on moving. Okay, we got some more ribs, some side pieces welded in as well. We've got that front piece that's going to be coming off the front beam location. Then we've got the center section. Then we've got the rear torsion tube. Then we've got the transmission 2 points that we're going to pick up off there, and then obviously the end of the table. So I think that's it for ribs. I don't think we need to add any more. Now it's going to be the uprights, which we're going to use flat bar and just some, I think that's like 30 by 30, this stuff here, to do our little uprights and our locations for attaching to the chassis. So yeah, I reckon that might be it for today's video. I'm done. I will continue to try and get this chassis built by the end of the week, so you guys have more content later. Anyway, we've got plenty of content. We've got all the other bus, the 64, and we've got the Millie Bug, and there's plenty more coming. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next episode. You.